Welcome to Beyond the Veil, everyone. Today, we have something different on the menu. Someone posted an incredible and horrifying experience she had, and I couldn't help myself. I reached out to her and received her full permission to share her story. So, here it is.
Actually, I've gone back and forth about posting this because I know how ridiculous it sounds, but I genuinely don't know how else to explain what happened to me. This happened a few months ago when I was staying at my grandma's house while she was away for a few days. It was an older house, and at night it made all kinds of noises. Pipes knocking, the floor creaking, doors shifting whenever the air conditioning came on. I was used to it. So when I heard my grandma call my name from downstairs around 2:13 in the morning, I didn't think much of it.
You were certain it was your grandmother's voice?
Yeah, it sounded exactly like her. Not similar, exactly. I actually sat up in bed and said, "What?" There were a few seconds of silence, and then I heard her again. "Come downstairs for a second." I almost got out of bed before remembering that my grandma was staying with my aunt for a few days.
What did you do when you realized she wasn't supposed to be there?
Well, I grabbed my phone and checked the last message she had sent me. And she had texted me earlier that night saying she was going to bed and that she'd call me the next morning.
Yeah.
I just stared at the screen for a minute, trying to convince myself I had imagined the voice. And then I heard footsteps on the stairs. Slow footsteps, like one step at a time.
Were they coming toward your bedroom?
Yes, they were. And I locked my bedroom door and called my grandma. She answered after a few rings, sounding half asleep. I whispered, "Grandma, are you in the house?" She immediately said no and asked me why I was asking. Before I could answer, something outside my bedroom door whispered, "Why are you calling her?"
So, something was already outside your door?
Yes, I heard it and then I froze. I was staring at the bottom of my bedroom door because I could see a shadow underneath it. Someone or something was standing on the other side. My grandma kept asking me what was wrong through the phone, but I couldn't get the words out. Then the thing outside my door started knocking. 3 slow knocks.
And your grandmother could hear what was happening?
Yes. And my grandma suddenly said, "Don't open that door." I asked her how she knew what was happening. She went completely silent. Then the voice outside changed back into hers. "Sweetheart, open the door. It's me." I backed away from the door so fast I nearly fell off the bed. My grandma was still on the phone and I could hear her breathing. Then the thing outside my bedroom started speaking again, but this time it sounded like me. "Grandma, I'm scared." My blood went cold. It repeated it again, perfectly copying my voice. Then it started laughing quietly.
How long did you remain inside that room?
I stayed in that room until sunrise, sitting against the wall with my phone clutched in my hand. At some point, the footsteps stopped. I never heard the door open. When the sun finally came up, I waited another hour before leaving the room. The hallway was empty. I checked every room downstairs and found nothing. The front door was still locked. Every window was locked. There was no obvious sign that anyone had been inside. I convinced myself it had been some kind of hallucination caused by exhaustion and fear.
And then you found something in the kitchen, right?
Yes, I went into the kitchen and noticed something that made my stomach drop. There were wet footprints on the floor. They started at the back door and led directly toward the stairs. I followed them upstairs. They stopped directly outside my bedroom door. There was one final footprint facing toward my bed.
What did your grandmother say when you told her?
I called my grandma again and told her what I found. She was quiet for a long time before saying something that I still think about whenever I'm alone at night. She said, "I never called you from the house." I told her I knew. Then she said, "No, honey. I mean, I never said your name."
What did she mean by that?
I asked her what she meant. She hesitated before telling me something she hadn't talked about in years. When she was younger, one of her sisters had died in that house. According to my grandma, before she died, her sister had a strange habit of standing outside people's bedrooms late at night and imitating their voices to scare them. My grandma said she hadn't thought about it in decades. I haven't stayed in that house since.
You also told me there was something on the recording of your phone call, something you didn't discover until later.
Oh, yeah, there was one part I didn't notice until the next morning. I had recorded the phone call with my grandma because I wanted proof that I wasn't imagining what happened. When I listened back to it, everything sounded normal at first. Then, about 3 minutes before the voice outside my door spoke, there was a faint whisper underneath the conversation. It was my voice, quiet, almost impossible to hear. It said, "Don't let it know you can hear it." I was asleep when the recording started, and I swear to God, I never said those words.
That is one heck of a scary encounter. Thank you for trusting us with your story, and also for allowing us to share it.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.
And thank you to everyone who watched and listened. If you've experienced something you cannot explain, we'd like to hear from you. You can email us your paranormal encounter along with any audio recordings, photographs, or video you may have. But you don't need evidence to reach out. A written account of what happened is enough. With your permission, your story may be featured in a future episode of Beyond the Veil. Until next time, stay curious and be careful what answers when you call out in the dark.